Hey, all right. I am live. Y'all was checking my tech. Y'all drop a fire emoji in the comments. If you are able to hear me and see me, I want to make sure that before I get into the content, everyone can hear me. Hey, David and team. Hope you guys are doing good. Nice to see you on the live. Hi, Nicole. Hey, JD Bound too. All right, wonderful. I love it. I'm seeing hearts, so I'm assuming that means that you guys can hear me and you can see me. I'm so excited to chat with you all today about our topic. This entire month, I've been going live and I've been talking about different things to help attorneys and service providers. And so today I want to talk more about something that is really near and dear to my heart because I've often felt like I was the underdog. And I have been, and I still feel that way after accomplishing so many things. And so today's topic is how being the underdog was the greatest advantage for me as a new lawyer. And honestly, it is still one of my greatest advantages in the marketplace. And so if you feel like you're an underdog, this one is for you. And I wanted to talk about this because this is a real thing in entrepreneurship. If you feel like you're an underdog, if you feel like you are under resourced, understaffed, underfunded, and you are just living under, this is for you. And when you feel like you're an underdog, it can be a lot of emotions, right? You think about the imposter syndrome that we face, the analysis paralysis, constantly overthinking, rethinking things. Hey, caring with compassion, one of my amazing clients, Ranita. Man, it is a lot when you feel like you're the underdog. But honestly, y'all, that is a super power. It is a resource that you can use. And many times people feel like that is the very thing that's going to count them out. And I'm telling you guys, it's the thing that should really count you in. And so an underdog, by definition, is a competitor thought to have little chance of winning a fight or a contest. It is a person who has little status in society. So again, I love the definition. It's a competitor that is thought to have little chance to win a fight or a contest. And if you feel like that, again, it is one of those things where being an underdog is all in your mind. And this could be something where someone planted that seed of scarcity when you're about to launch your new program or launch your business, or to tell you that, man, I don't know if that's something wise for you to do, or things of that nature. And so when people begin to say those things to you, you can feel like, well, maybe this isn't going to work out for me. Maybe it's going to be even more difficult for me to be able to enter into a marketplace. And there's so many of these big fish in the water, big sharks in the water, right? And a lot of times underdogs, they believe that they need more time. They think they need more followers. Hey, dear. They think they need more experience. They think they need more influence to be able to have the impact that they are destined to have. And we are often plagued with a lot of limiting beliefs. And the thing that you have to shift as an underdog, if you're feeling this way, if you're feeling like people believe that I'm probably not going to win, they believe that I'm not going to triumph, they believe that I'm not going to be able to get these things, you have to shift your mindset to know and understand that everything you need now to provide a transformation, to deliver results to your clients, to make an impact in your community, you already have. I've been listening to something and it said that if you, the fact that I was created by a great God means that I'm great already. Like the thing that created me is great. My God is so big. He's so powerful. He created the universe. So of course, I have to be great because I'm a product of greatness. And so even if I have less experience, even if I don't have as many access to resources, even if the world is saying, okay, she's operating at limited capacity. I started my law firm with $300 in my closet out of my bedroom. I had no supervising attorney. I didn't go to the best law firm. I didn't have this growing alumni network. There were not any Black trademark attorneys in my state that I could talk to. There was no one who looked like me at the time when I started that I could go to and say, I need to be able to reach out and touch you. I need you to be my mentor. I need you to be able to help me. There was no one like that for me. And I did not know how to launch a business. I wasn't an entrepreneur. I didn't come from an entrepreneurial family. I didn't take any courses and classes on how to be an entrepreneur. I literally had no idea what I was doing when I first started this business. I was the definition, the quintessential definition of an underdog. People who thought, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure it's going to work out for you? Are you sure you want to make sure that when you have your law firm that you're targeting it to female founders and Black entrepreneurs? Are they going to actually pay you? Are they going to see your value? How are you going to sell trademark services, which is not something that people can often touch and feel and experience? How are you going to sell proactive things to people and basically tell them like, hey, you should get this in place so that you can avoid pain in the future? Most of the time, people are motivated by pain. And that's why most people go to attorneys. They're in pain. You got a speeding ticket. You don't want to lose your license. You don't want to get points on your license. You go to an attorney. You were charged with a crime. Okay, you don't want to go to jail, right? So the type of legal service I'm selling is, oh, I want to make sure that you don't get into trouble so you can come to me and hire me beforehand. So I'm in this position where I am understaffed, underfunded, don't have resources. Oh, my baby's crying. The babysitter's got her. I was like, okay, she's good. So I'm in this position, and some of you are in a very similar position, right? You have a business, and maybe you are not the person who in your business or in your industry, there's not too many people that look like you, and you don't have the resources that other people have, and you don't have as much information or access to knowledge or access to funds as other people have. Y'all, that is one of the biggest and greatest resources that you have. It's the thing about underdogs is that you're not looking behind you to see who's going to catch up with you. You're looking forward. That's one of the best things that you can do as an underdog. Look forward. Look forward. Look forward at who is doing something greater than you, or who is going into places that you haven't been before. I was able to study so many people who were my colleagues who have been doing this for many years prior to me and say, okay, they did this. Maybe I can do something similar. They tried this. Oh, they made this mistake. Let me make sure I don't make these mistakes. When you're an underdog, you can make mistakes and it's not going to destroy your entire world. It's not going to crush you. You're expected to not know everything, and that's okay. And so now you don't have this huge burden and this huge weight that you're carrying because you're expected to be this expert. I wasn't expected to be the expert. I was naturally curious about everything. And so I began to research. I began to read. I began to write. I began to ask questions. I did that intentionally because I didn't know as much. And people didn't have that expectation of me. I didn't put that expectation on myself. And now, because I was naturally curious, I know so much about the trademark process, a lot more than some of my colleagues, because I literally was reading the statutes and I knew all these different things. I know that trademark manual of examiner's procedures back and forward. I know it so well. And I began to think of things in creative ways that other people wouldn't normally do it, because I'm not jaded, because I didn't have to go through some of these traditional means that other people go through, where they go and they work at a law firm for years and they did it this particular way. I did everything unique. I did everything from scratch. And so you have to realize, now I have these new processes and these systems. I started my law firm with this position of knowing that there are things that I needed to do. In fact, I looked up, what are all the reasons why people hate attorneys? And when I looked that up, I realized, oh, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that attorney that people don't like. So I'm going to make sure I have really great systems. I'm going to make sure I have really tight processes. I'm going to make sure that I have all these things in place. What, baby?
Is there snack time?
Is it snack time yet? It can't be, honey. Can you lock my door on the way out? Just pop my lock. Can you lock my door? I know that was important. He said, now I got to ask a question about snack time because I mean, I know you got stuff going on. You got to talk to your friends online. But, Mama, I need to know about these snacks. So, and hopefully, he'll be able to get his snacks. Okay. All right. So, the other limiting belief that you have to really overcome as an underdog is, man, it is so easy to gain momentum and overtake competitors because you have this amazing source of motivation as an underdog. I'm telling you, like, it was easy for me to be able to gain more clients, disrupt the marketplace, and get attention on my business because people were rooting for me to win. Everybody roots for the underdog. I think we forget that. A lot of people root for the underdog. They get excited about people who upset these big giants and these champions and people who are known to win because people love seeing people overcome. I think that's why I love watching like my 600-pound life or I watch like intervention. I'm always rooting for those people to win because I'm like, I just want them to be able to triumph, right? So when you are the underdog, listen, you have to think of yourself. These are some things that you can do just from a practical perspective. If you are struggling with this, I want you to drop like a one in the comments if you've ever felt like an underdog, if you've ever struggled with those thoughts, if you've ever really felt like, man, I feel like I'm behind. I was always moving and operating my business as if I had to catch up with other people. And then because I was thinking of it that way, it created a lot of stress and anxiety for me because I felt like I had to keep trying to compete with other people. And I had to shift my mindset because it was causing so much stress and so much anxiety for myself. And I'm not in competition with anybody else, I'm in competition with the elevated version of myself. There was something that I recently posted on social media, and it said that some people define hell as running into the version of yourself that you were supposed to become. The when you meet someone that you were supposed to become, when you meet that version of yourself, if somebody went forth and you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing everything that I said I wanted to do, and they're doing it in excellence. They're doing it at such an elevated level. That is like a tough place and position to be, to run into the version of you that you should have become. And so don't let the fact that you have categorized yourself as an underdog prevent you from becoming the elevated version of yourself. I have to shift my mindset and say, who do I need to become? Who do I need to evolve into? That version of myself that I see in my dreams, the version of myself that I see speaking on stages, the version of myself that I see coaching hundreds of attorneys and helping them build amazing businesses. I want to create an army of Black women attorneys who are fit and suited to serve creative entrepreneurs, who have businesses that are running like clockwork, who have amazing systems in place that serve them and their businesses and their families. Like, that's what I want to build. But I have to become an elevated version of myself so that that can come into fruition. I have to do the work now so that I can communicate my message. I cannot hide because I'm like, okay, now I'm this trademark attorney. Now I want to shift and become this coach for attorneys and I want to help them. Okay, well, I have to see myself in that position. It doesn't matter that other people have these multi-million-dollar coaching programs and they've already started and they're years ahead of me. What does that have to do with the vision that God gave me right now? Now he's calling me to evolve. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to move into a new atmosphere and dominate. It's okay to be able to do that. So being an underdog, that's my greatest advantage because I'm able to see and study what other people are doing, what people like, what they do not like, what's lacking in the industry, in the marketplace. How can I fill a need? How can I fill a gap that other people aren't seeing? So instead of me and telling myself and categorizing myself as less than and saying, oh, you can't possibly compete, because these other people are ahead of you, I'm not even competing with them because I don't compare myself with them. Once you get clear about your destiny, once you get clear about what you were called to do and what you have been trained to do and what you have been created to do for such a time as this, you will no longer compare yourself to others. You will begin to clap for people because they have found their purpose in life. And so when you get clarity, you won't compare. When you get clarity, you're going to clap for other people because you're going to say, that is so inspiring that that person is moving and operating in their full gifts and talents. And God, you are blessing them because they have been obedient to you. God, I want to be able to be encouraged and use what they are doing as inspiration for my own walking and my own journey. You have to stop worrying about what other people think because they're not thinking of you. Why are you so concerned about what other people think and how they think and all those things, and they're not thinking of you? And the other thing that you have to, and I'm gonna just be transparent, I wanted to shift into doing a lot of stuff probably last year for attorneys, and I let somebody else get in my head. And I gave so much deference and respect to somebody else's opinion about my position in the marketplace that I delayed myself for a year because I was worried about what they were going to think. I didn't want to offend them. I was trying to make sure I wasn't stepping on toes. And what ended up happening was I distanced myself. I allowed a whole year to go by before I got in the race, before I began to create transformative products, because I was sitting here so worried and so concerned about what someone else thought. At the end of the day, there's a scripture and it talks about do your best to live at peace with all men. Do your best to live at peace with all men. And we should. We should do our best to live at peace with all men. But there are some people who do not want to have peace with you. There are some people who literally do not want peace. They want problems. If somebody wants to have a problem with you, that's on them. But you don't have time to have problems with people, not when you're on your path to purpose. You literally have zero time to have beef with people, to have problems with people. It is taking up too much energy and too much of your mind to literally have a problem with someone. How can you don't have time to have problems with people. You literally do not have time to have problems with people. Why? Because you have to be so busy and so focused on your purpose and what you are destined to do. You have to understand that problems are categorized in one of two ways. Problems are distractions, and problems can mean promotion. You have to discern, is this problem a distraction or does it mean promotion? Distractions are things that are going to deter you from your destiny. They're going to get your eyes off of the prize. They're going to literally confuse you, create cloudy thoughts, create doubt, and to really feed that procrastination monster that is on the inside of you that you have to starve. That's what some problems do. They're literally distractions from the enemy. Other problems mean promotion. Those problems are, okay, I have an issue that I need to solve that is going to allow me, once I overcome it, it's going to allow me to become a better person, a better entrepreneur, a better friend, a better mother, a better wife, a better husband. These problems are going to elevate me and mature me in a place so that I can be mature, complete, and not lacking anything. Shout out to James, the book of James. So are the problems in your life distractions? Or are the problems in your life sent to you to promote you and to elevate you and to mature you? You have to have enough discernment to be able to quickly discern the difference between the two, because one is going to get you closer to your destiny and one is going to get you further away. I don't have time to have problems with people. People have problems with me, yes, but I ain't got no problem with nobody because I don't have time for it. I literally don't. I'm not going to allow that to take up brain space. I have too much work to do in the world. I'm too great to be consumed with problems with other people. I don't have time. And so, as an underdog, I am so focused on being better, being different, serving people in excellence, being naturally curious, and thinking of the impact that I need to make. what is available to me when I shift my mindset from I'm an underdog and there's all these things that are stacked up against me, and it's going to just make my life so much more difficult because I don't have all the things that other people have. That's a lack mindset. It's a scarcity mindset. It should be when you shift it into, okay, wait a minute, I'm an underdog, and this is one of the greatest advantages that I have. Let me name out all the advantages that I have. Okay, people are going to underestimate me. They're going to think that I'm unassuming. They're going to lay down. They're going to actually disarm themselves. When people didn't see me as a threat, they would tell me different things. They would give me access to strategies because they didn't think that I was powerful enough to implement them. So I began to ask questions like, okay, what do I need to be involved in? Who do I need to go to? What are some marketing strategies that I could employ? What should I read? What should I consume? Who should I be connected with? Who should I know that I don't know right now? And people would tell me because they didn't think that I was powerful enough to actually uh, unlock and open some of those doors. They were giving me all sorts of keys because I was asking questions. And because I was asking those questions, I began to acquire knowledge that I needed for the next level. Matter of fact, I remember I spoke with a man, and he was a Caucasian gentleman. He was an attorney here in North Carolina. And I was very thankful that he was sharing with me resources before I started my law firm. Then he decided to give me some unsolicited advice. Now, the advice I asked him for was, can you tell me what I need to read? What do I need to consume? What should I be looking at? I just want to make sure that I'm reading as much as possible. He gave me some really great advice. And then he turned around and he said, I do not recommend that you start your law firm. I recommend that you work for several years with someone else before you do. First of all, I didn't ask you what you thought about me launching my business. So that was unsolicited. Although I appreciated all the other things he shared, it was not something that I needed for him basically just try to sow a seed of doubt in my good ground. I uprooted that very quickly. Hey, I appreciate you sharing that with me. Um, but this is something that I'm determined to do. Listen, you have to be able to separate the wheat from the tare. People are going to give you good advice, and then with that good advice, sometimes it's going to be mixed in some bad advice. Are you going to allow the fact that someone gave you good advice and good information, and then also say, okay, you also are recommending that I don't do this, so I'm going to also listen to that too? I don't have time to listen to that. I had already made up my mind. And it's funny because like 3 months after I started my law firm, I had to send his client a cease and desist because they were infringing on my client's intellectual property. I don't have time to listen to people that are basically telling me that I can't do something. That's not what I'm here for. You don't have the authority to even tell me yes. Why am I going to let you tell me no? You don't have, that's beyond the realm of your reach. You can't even reach that far to tell me no. You don't even have the authority to tell me no. So people will look at you a certain way and they will underestimate you in life, but that is a problem that they have with their vision. Don't allow it to cloud your vision. My prayer specifically has been, God, fix my vision. God, give me greater insight. Give me greater hindsight. I need greater foresight. I need greater insight. God, fix my sight. Elevate my sight. This has been my greatest advantage because I'm able to see things from a perspective that other people don't see it at. And I don't allow the fact that I've accomplished so much to allow me not to see things from a different perspective. When people are at the top, it's a beautiful place to be, but it's very easy to go to the bottom, especially if you don't exercise humility. But if you are an underdog, and I'm talking about people who literally the world is looking at you and saying, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to accomplish it. There's so many things that are not going to be available to you. It's impossible. And then that feeds your imposter syndrome. It's impossible for you to be an imposter if you're in the will of God. It is literally impossible. It is impossible for you to be an imposter in a seat that has been destined for you to sit in. It is impossible for you to be an imposter if God said, this is going to be your lane of domination. These are the things that I have destined for you to do. How dare you think of yourself as an imposter as if God made a mistake making you? Child, I'm preaching today, okay? If you are able to shift your mindset as an underdog, you will be able to get more clients. You'll be able to have more money. You're going to have more time. You're going to have more freedom. And you are going to be able to evolve. It gives you the permission to evolve and to grow into who God has really created you to be. Honestly, it really, really, really does. You have to shift your mindset and you have to look at it as one of your greatest advantages. Don't look at it like it's a weakness, because it's not. Do not look at being an underdog as if it's a weakness. It is not. It is one of the greatest advantages that you could possibly have as an entrepreneur. It is one of the best positions that you can be at. So you can be humble and you can make sure that you are praying to God and that you are leaning on Him, not on your own understanding, but leaning on His. So I wanted to share that with you guys today because so many people get stuck for years because they are so worried about the wrong things. And when you shift your mindset and say, okay, God, you created me for such a time as this. You have literally anointed me to solve these particular problems. You have done what you needed to do to position me to live abundantly. And just because I feel a certain way, it doesn't mean that my feelings are facts. Feelings are not facts. Feelings are fickle. They shift from day to day. You cannot trust your heart many times. You can't even trust your thoughts sometimes. You have to be able to remind yourself and stand firm on the fact of who it is, what God created you to be, or who God created you to be, what He created you to do, and understand that He made no mistake when it came to you. If I was created by a great God, I have to be great. Success is already in me. I just have to unlock it. Wealth is already in me. I have to unlock it. I have to just believe. All of those things are. We having calls come in. And so I'm being an example of this right now. I'm being a straight up example of this right now in this very moment where I am maturing and I am exercising faith. And although I've been coaching attorneys for years behind the scenes, I'm now saying, okay, this is going to be the thing that I do. This is what I'm called to do. And it doesn't matter how I feel. What matters is this is what God is literally telling me that I need to go forth and do. Because there are far too many people who need what I have and they're waiting for me. They're not waiting for anybody else. They're waiting for me. And if I don't move, they will move on. And I can't blame anybody. And that's the same thing for you. If you don't show up in the most powerful way that you know you can, and you've been suppressing and hiding the fact that you're a powerful person because you are exercising false humility, or you're too concerned and too wrapped up in people bondage because you're afraid you're going to offend folk. So now, because you're afraid of being offending people, the people who need you for their breakthrough, they can't access it because you're not showing up when they need you. And I'm gonna have to repent. I have to repent for that because I've been disobedient, but not anymore. So, um, with that being said, JD said, ouch, ouch, and amen. Okay. So, with that being said, what am I going to do? I am now going to do what I said that I'm going to do. So I am coaching attorneys. I have about maybe 11 attorneys right now that I'm coaching. I've been coaching attorneys behind the scenes for years. I'm opening the doors for my coaching program. If you want to get on a strategy call with me, a one-on-one strategy call, you can do that. It is application.tacoradavis.com. It is a free 1 hour call with me, and we can work out a plan to determine if it's a good fit for you, determine your best path forward. What are your next best steps as an attorney? My vision, and I pray that you guys partner with me in prayer, is to literally build an army of Black women attorneys and Black men attorneys and those who are supporters of us. If you are a supporter of Black individuals who are attorneys and women of color and people of color, you can apply to work with me in Funnel Cake. This is really clock working your law firm, making sure that all of the systems are running in a great place so that you can stand out, so that other people are not consistently overlooking you. There are hundreds, I mean, thousands of people who need us, and they don't like how attorneys are currently serving them right now. They are not happy about it. Those attorneys do not have good business sense. They don't have good business practices. They do not understand how to serve creative individuals and people who are literally coming out into the world. We need more kingdom lawyers out there. We need more lawyers who are operating in good business principles and practices, and more clients and individuals and people who are positioned to serve. I can't serve everybody. I'm not going to. I don't have the capacity. So if that interests you, go ahead, get on my calendar. My calendar opens up next week for these specific calls, and my program starts May 8th. So go ahead, go to the link in the bio. If you're watching the replay, type replay in the comments. Go ahead, get on my calendar, get on my schedule, and let's make a plan so that you can move into a position of power in your firm. Okay? All right, listen, y'all have an amazing day. It was a joy to speak with you again, and I will see you actually next week. It's going to be next Tuesday, April 18th, and I'm going to speak about how we help busy lawyers get clients on autopilot without burning out. Thank you so much for sending that to your siblings. I really appreciate you. And thank you all for partnering in prayer with me. I pray you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you all next week.